Welcome to the NLP UK Training Podcast. I'm Fraser.
And I'm Steve Kay.
And today we have the lovely Megan O'Connor with us. And we're going to be talking about positivity today.
We are, because there's not enough of it, particularly in our country. Every day we hear things in the news that are going wrong. The economy's, flatlining. There's going to be less recruitment. Don't want to date it particularly, but even the Chancellor has said we need to be more upbeat about the way we portray our country.
Absolutely. And actually, I think that's quite a British thing, isn't it? We don't want to be upbeat, us Brits. We'd rather be a bit doom and gloom.
The thing is, though, it works because I know when I've been upbeat and positive in my internal dialogue, like we stopped doing some of the work that we didn't like doing as much. And so if someone asked me, how's business? I'd say, well, we're not as busy or we're not as profitable because we're not doing this. And I realized what I was saying to myself. So I shut up with that a few months ago and just said, yeah, we're doing really well, thank you. Oh, that's good. Yeah, we're a success. We're doing what we want to do. And we've got some great new programs and people are loving it. And I think when you're kind of congruent on the inside, it comes out. I mean, like last week, we had several bookings. The day before, I didn't know they were coming through.
No.
They just came through. And I don't know why they came. But I think it's because I am congruent on the inside with what I'm on the outside. So we're a success on the inside because we're working with people. Success is about doing what you want to do and what you enjoy, or working towards doing that. It's not about money. It might be for some people, but it's about working towards doing something that you really enjoy doing, or you're doing it. So I think when you're congruent about what you want to do, it's like people will come, as that Kevin Costner film, Field of Dreams. Field of Dreams, yeah.
Build it and they will come.
And they do. So if we're positive, we're going to see the world differently. And if we're negative about stuff, I mean, I was told during the last but one recession by somebody who'd been made redundant from a county council, nobody in the public sector is spending any money. And I thought, well, we've got that piece of business. We've got that piece of business. We're working with at least 5 local authorities and one NHS provider with a coaching program. So what she said wasn't actually true, but she definitely heard it in the newspapers or the news, or what her former colleagues were saying. So she didn't step out and look for something.
And I think that's the thing. When we tell ourselves that negative story, and that's all it is, it's just a story, it's not real. When we tell ourselves that negative story, that's all we see.
Yeah.
So we're looking for things to back up that story that we're telling ourselves. Now, when you change that story and you start to think more positively about things, you will see more of those positive things in other people, in the world, in business. It doesn't matter what area that you're looking at, you'll see something different.
And I don't think people pick up on what you say. I think people pick up on you and your energy and your behaviors. So it's like, I'm going to bring Meg in here. So like you've had to overcome some obstacles, like Scott getting a job, all the visa stuff. There must have been times when you felt, oh, this is hard. maybe we'll get to France. But instead you're going to the other side of the world. You're taking 3 kids with you, and some resistance there, I bet, because, well, I don't want to leave school. I've got my mates here.
Yeah.
Can I come back? So you've kind of got this positive vision about your new life, but it's a shared thing, isn't it? Because they're all involved in it. But you've got to be like overcoming things all the time, haven't you? Can you tell us a bit about your positive attitude? Because you're one of the most positive people I know.
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. There was definitely a lot of challenges to overcome with the visa process. And on top of that, a lot of uncertainty. So you had to invest a lot early on before you knew whether it was going to work out or not. But I had this vision, and I still have it, of what our life will be like over there. And that's when it's really challenging, that is the place I go to. And I used to keep that vision to myself. But what I realised is when I started to open up and ask Scott and the kids how they envision life over there, I was able to not only build on that, but bring them along in the journey as well. So when I realised that they was having a particular challenge, we could talk about it as a family and then reconnect to actually, why are we doing this? Like, we're doing it for a reason, and we understand at the minute it's uncertain. And we're not 100% sure how it's going to work out over there. But there was that element of faith that it's just going to work out. And that's what I leaned into.
And I think that's, uncertainty is part of life, isn't it? There is no sure thing. And actually, it's quite interesting that that's something you've leaned into and just gone, well, I want to lean into this uncertainty and enjoy it.
Well, you never know what insights you're going to have, do you? You never know. Tomorrow you might have an insight that comes from nowhere that you weren't expecting. And if when we're coaching people, particularly 3-piece coaching, we have an absolute 100% faith that they can have the capacity for insights. Yeah. But so can we.
Yeah.
So can we just go back to your coaching business, Meg? How do you apply positivity to that?
Yeah. So early on, I remember feeling like, oh my God, this is such a big change. Like, I didn't even have one client.
Yeah.
But again, I had like a vision and a feeling of how and where I wanted to be. And what I found is the days where I went into a doubt phase, I kind of stayed there and not a lot of good stuff happened. But when the more and more I learned into the possibilities of what I can see and making it a reality, and the more I learned, the more things just started to happen, like really weird things.
It's like magic, isn't it?
It really is, yeah.
It's hard to explain, isn't it? So
Yeah.
your tip is lean into the possibilities of what you want, and it'll happen.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
But we don't know why.
Yeah.
There's no scientific evidence.
No.
They would tell us. We don't know, but it works.
That's like the mystery of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. There must be some people listening to this or watching this. Yeah, it's all right for you three. You've all got your own businesses. You should see my life. I've got to do what my director says. I've got a mortgage to pay and 2 kids, and I've got a car bill to pay. So for people who aren't in the lucky position we're in of having some control over, more control over our destiny, what would we say to them?
There's always an option, I would say, because I used to be one of those people. And I used to feel like there wasn't a lot of options for me. But when I started to look and ask myself, how can I make this happen? Things appeared in terms of options appeared that I'd never considered before.
Yeah.
There weren't always easy options, but just having that option made me feel like I had a choice.
Yeah.
And that feeling of choice was so important to me at that time.
Yeah.
And then I just went. I think sometimes there's a bit of scarcity there, but I just took smaller steps, and then they got bigger and bigger as my confidence grew. And I think when I lent into that, it slowly took my life on a different direction.
I like this term you use, I lent into that. I also like the better question of how can I make this happen? I think that's great.
Yeah.
Because whenever I ask myself a better question, the answers seem to come. And I don't know where they come from, but it happens very quickly. How can I make the most of this? Who can help me? That kind of thing.
And I think also just what you said about taking small steps, you don't have to take a gigantic leap. You know, that first step sometimes is the hardest one, but actually that first small, tiny little step is the one that opens up even more choice, even more possibility. So if you're listening to this and thinking, how can I get a little bit of this great stuff that Kelly, Steve and Meg have got? Just take that first step to whatever it is that is your absolute heart's desire. Do that one small thing that's going to take you closer to it. That's where you'll start to see possibility. So guys, it's been wonderful to talk to you all today again. We'll be back with our next episode soon. So it's goodbye from me.
And see you soon from me.
Bye, everyone.